It is yet another sewing tutorial and a request Wednesday for that matter. I'm going to be answering a specific fashion question, and this time around I'm going to be showing you how to make a pair of paper bag pants. Someone asked on Instagram if I would be able to make that for her and show her how it's done, and you are just in luck, girl, because in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the paper bag design pants. If you want to see how they're made as well as the outcome, keep watching. If this is your first time seeing my lovely face, thank you so much for joining us on this one, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified every single week whenever I have new videos up. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this tutorial. The first thing that needs to get sorted out obviously is the pattern for this project. So I'm going to modify these trouser patterns I made in one of my previous videos, and I've decided to add 3 inches high up the center front and the side seam. And the idea is when you fix an elastic, all that excess measurement I've added would be gathered back in. So I'm just quickly going to add my seam allowance all around the modification I've made, and I'm going to mark on the points where I want my elastic band to sit. So the elastic band is about 2 inches wide, and I'm going to mark it in the center front and the side seam and create notches there. So when I sort of join everything together, I know where the elastic band is supposed to go. So I did the same for the front and the back, and I would need 2 pieces each to make a complete pair of trousers. As for the facing, as you can see here, this is something that would be cut from the same pattern and just added on to make the trousers work. So this is a close-up shot of what the patterns look like. So to get that facing working, I'm just going to remove that modified piece of this pattern and cut 2 pieces for the front and for the back as well to join with the earlier 2 pieces of the front and back in this fabric. So I'm working in this Ankara fabric that has the most beautiful combination of red, greens and blues, and it's something I've had for a while, and it just came in time for this project. I love to work with prints. It just makes me so excited. So the next thing I did here is to pin down the patterns, and I cut out my legs, which is the front and the back. I ended up cutting 2 pieces each because that's how many I need, and I'm just going to quickly cut this nice and neatly all the way around and mark my notches. So at this point, these are the amount of materials I have. I have my legs, 2 fronts and 2 backs. I have my facings, which I've reinforced with interlining to make them stiff, just to ensure that waist would like stand stiff when it's stitched on to the fabric of the trousers. So I cut 2 facings, 2 for the front and 2 for the back. So the next step is to join the side seams of the trouser leg. So you want to get the front and back of the right leg, the front and back of the left leg, and join the side seams and the center seams of the leg. Sewing with a normal straight stitch on my machine, I am going to join together these seams of the side seams and the middle point of the leg before going ahead to join that one connecting point from the front to the back, which would make it a complete trouser. So this is what it looks like at this point, and I'm just ensuring everything is nicely done. The next step is to overlock all my seams because Ankara is a woven fabric and it will just fray like crazy if I don't overlock those seams. So I'm just overlocking the points that I need before I go on to join the middle point of the trouser. So what you do is you join together the 2 fronts, the 2 backs, and I've just pinned them down together here before taking it to my machine to sew. So using a normal stitch, I'm just going to stitch that nice and neat all the way across, and this is the result at this point. It's looking quite good already, I might say. So the next step is to work on the facing. So I have joined the side seams, and I just have to join the back and the front point, and it is going to be attached to the trousers around the top part. So when it's flipped over and you look into the trousers, you see the colored part of this fabric and not the interlined surface. So once that is sewn together and overlocked, I am going to put them together and hold them down with pins before using one long stitch to join the facing together with the trouser around this circular point here. So once this is done, you know all you need to do is just to turn the facing into the trouser before attaching your elastic. So I'm going to create a channel, and what I'm going to do here is sew the actual trouser to the facing along this channel point that I'm creating here. So this point is going to be enough for me to pass my elastic through once I've sewn those 2 stitches along the dotted lines I'm making with this chalk. So the elastic is about 2 inches wide, and I want it to sit about 3 inches beneath this new waistline that I've created for the pants. So this is what it looks like right now, and next thing is to sew it obviously on the machine. So I'm using the normal straight stitch, and I'm just stitching out all the way across to create the channel that I want. So the idea is you stitch on top and you stitch under, but you leave an opening through which you pass the elastic through. So taking my trusty old safety pin, I am going to go underneath that facing and into the channel through the opening I left, and I'm going to pass the elastic all the way around, and once that is passed through, join the 2 ends together with a zigzag stitch to ensure it doesn't unravel once it's inside your pants. So the next thing is to work on the cuff of the pants. I am going to be creating turn-up cuffs, which I think are so cool and trendy. So to do this, I'm going to sew 1.5 inches inwards. So just sew about 0.5 centimeters here, and then fold it upwards, pin that together so it doesn't fold. Do the same for the other side, and then use a straight stitch to just attach that fold along the side seam so it doesn't unravel once you have them on. And once you give that a good press, you have your turn up cuffs. I hope that made sense. So this is the end result, and it was quite easy to make, a bit tricky around the waist, but the one thing I would say is if you're going to make it, you might want to make the thighs a bit wider so the paper bag effect around your waist is more noticeable. Mine came out really cool but a bit tight, but I'm going to still rock it anyways. So I paired it up with this crop top I made in a similar fabric that has a different color but has sort of the same pattern coordination, and it is quite bright, I might say, but I thought it still looked really cool on together. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'd like to know your comments and thoughts down below. This video was requested by someone on Instagram. If you would like me to make something else for you for Request Wednesday, feel free to ask down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next one, have a beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are. Bye!